Unlock hidden treasures and crucial property insights in Duval County without spending a dime. In this explainer, we'll walk you through everything you need to know about accessing property records online for free. Whether you're a homeowner wanting to check your assessed value, an investor hunting for your next deal, or a researcher digging into local history, by the end of this explainer, you'll have the keys to uncover valuable information effortlessly. No paywalls, no expensive third-party subscriptions, just the official, straight-from-the-source data. So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with understanding public records, then move on to navigating the appraiser site, initiating your search, understanding those search results, leveraging additional resources, and we'll wrap it all up with some troubleshooting and tips. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Understanding Public Records. Okay, so before we just start clicking around, we really need to set the stage. In Florida, property records are publicly accessible to facilitate absolute transparency in the buying, selling, and taxing of real estate. But because Duval County and the city of Jacksonville operate under a consolidated government, finding exactly what you need requires understanding what I like to call the 3 pillars of county data. Real estate services here are actually divided among 3 distinct constitutional offices. First up, you have the property appraiser. They handle valuations, building dimensions, and exemptions. Second, the clerk of courts. That's where all the actual legal documents live. We're talking your deeds, your mortgages, your liens. And finally, the tax collector is strictly the billing department. They handle tax payments and receipts. Knowing which pillar holds the information you need, well, that's the absolute secret to fast, free research. Now, here's a massive and honestly incredibly common early pitfall you've got to watch out for. You have to make absolutely sure you are searching in Duval County, Florida. Believe it or not, there is a Duval County in Texas, and they have their own appraisal district website. If you ever find yourself on a site ending in duvalcad.org, you've virtually driven all the way to Texas. For our purposes today, we are strictly focusing on Jacksonville, Florida, and its surrounding beaches. Moving right along to Section 2, navigating to the property appraiser's website. The property appraiser site is literally your foundational starting point for almost any property research you're going to do in the county. Getting there is simple but crucial. You want to open your browser directly to paopropertysearch.coj.net. When you do, you'll be prompted to read and accept a standard site disclaimer. It basically just notes that the data shouldn't be used for strict financial calculations without verification. Once you accept that, boom, you arrive at the basic search portal. Using this official county portal ensures you're seeing accurate, up-to-date data directly from the source, completely bypassing those pesky third-party sites that try to charge you for the exact same public information. Just a quick but super important administrative note for those of you diving in right now. The county's digital infrastructure is actually scheduled for a systematic transition beginning March 13th, 2026. This is aimed at improving their search tools and content. So if the site looks a little different around that time or you experience some hiccups, don't panic. Official support is always available via their customer service line or email. Okay, Section 3, initiating your search. It's time to actually pull some data. This basic search portal is incredibly user-friendly. You can search by owner name, property address, or the specific real estate number, often called an RE number. Listen, if you have the RE number, use it. It's basically like a fingerprint for the property, and it provides a direct, exact hit. But let's say you're an investor looking for all properties owned by a specific LLC. In that case, you type in the owner name and ensure you select the Match Any option to cast a wider net and pull a comprehensive list of all matching parcels. All right, let's talk about what happens next in Section 4, Understanding Search Results. So once you hit that search button, you're going to be presented with a page that is just packed with dense, highly valuable information. The absolute crucial point here is understanding the terminology on this results page. You're going to see structural dimensions, zoning codes, and assessed values. But one of the most important terms you'll encounter is just value. This is the legally mandated property valuation determined by the appraiser as of January 1st of each tax year. This specific number is exactly what establishes the boundaries for property taxes, and it's used to issue those annual truth and millage or trim cards to homeowners. Now, as you scroll down to the sales history, you might actually spot something kinda wild. A recent sales price of exactly $100. Did someone really buy a whole house in Jacksonville for $100? No way. A $100 sales price on the appraiser's site usually just indicates a nominal transfer. The system calculates sales prices based on the documentary stamp taxes paid when a deed is recorded. So a transfer between family members or placing a home into a trust, well, that generates the minimum documentary stamp tax. the system automatically spits that out as a flat $100 sale. So remember, it is not a true market transaction. Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, leveraging additional resources. So if you see that $100 sale, how in the world do you verify what it actually was? Was it a family transfer, a trust placement, or maybe a foreclosure? Well, you've got to advance to the next pillar, the clerk of courts. To cross-reference that data, simply take the book and page number listed right next to that $100 sale on the appraiser site and hop over to the Clerk's Acclaim web platform at or.duvalclerk.com. This free portal allows you to search official recorded instruments all the way back to 1988. By just plugging in that book and page number, you can view the actual physical deed for free, and reading the actual document will instantly tell you exactly what kind of transfer went down. But, what if you're doing deep research into things like property litigation, foreclosures, or probates? For that heavier lifting, you need the clerk's core system. Unlike the deed site, court records have different access levels due to confidentiality laws. Unregistered users can simply pass a CAPTCHA to view basic civil cases. But if you want to request reviews of restricted documents or view family and probate records affecting a property, you'll actually need to submit a signed registration agreement to the clerk's office to become a registered user. While we're on the topic of the clerk of courts, I absolutely have to share a proactive tip for any homeowners tuning in. According to the FBI, property fraud is a rapidly growing crime where scammers actually file fake deeds. It's scary stuff. To combat this, the Duval County clerk offers a completely free property fraud alert system. Over 44,000 users have already enrolled. Basically, once you sign up, it monitors your name and instantly emails you if any new deed, mortgage, or lien is recorded under your name in the county. It's an absolute must-do for property owners, for sure. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, troubleshooting and tips for beginners. Even with these amazing free portals, you might occasionally hit a wall. In fact, here is probably the single biggest question beginners ask. I know for a fact this house just sold last week. Why is the previous owner still showing up on the property appraiser's site? It's a great question, and it all comes down to how different government databases talk to each other. The answer is something called database sync lag. Basically, these systems do not sync in real time. On day one, the new deed is recorded at the clerk of courts and gets an instrument number immediately. But it can actually take several business days, let's say day 3, for the property appraiser staff to process that specific transaction. It might literally be day 5 before the new ownership officially reflects on the appraiser's portal. And this is exactly why professional researchers always cross-reference active files by checking the clerk's database to see if a deed was recorded just a few days ago. Okay, I want to give you a few rapid-fire pro tips to really supercharge your searches. First, always double-check your name spellings. Government databases are highly literal and they won't usually autocorrect for you. Second, if you're searching for a property owned by spouses, use the % sign as a wildcard on the appraiser site. For example, typing Doe %sign Jane will help you bypass weird formatting quirks. And finally, don't forget the tangible search tab on the appraiser site if you're looking to value business assets and equipment rather than just real estate. So to quickly recap our journey today, remember those 3 pillars. Duval County's records are divided. By starting at the property appraiser's portal and then cross-referencing your findings with the clerk of courts, you can navigate this distributed treasure map of public data entirely for free. It really just takes a little know-how and an understanding of how the systems connect. Now, before we officially conclude, please just keep in mind that while the information provided in this explainer is intended to be super helpful and accurate, it definitely shouldn't be considered legal or financial advice. When you're making major real estate decisions, always consult with a qualified professional or reach out directly to the official county offices. So, I leave you with this final question. What hidden treasures and insights will you uncover in your local property records today? Now that you have the tools, the databases are yours to explore. If you found this explainer valuable, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you clear, structured insights into the topics that matter most. Happy researching, and we'll see you in the next explainer.